Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Brian here, and welcome back to another episode of Football Media. Really quick, I'm not in my regular setting because I'm in my kitchen right now because I am editing today's video, and this is going to be tomorrow's video because I'm going to be editing the rest of the video. I thought I'll just record right now while I have time before I get busy later on in the day, and right now it's pretty late in the afternoon, but I still have time to edit and put out the other video. I just want to make sure I get this video out first, but other than that, just pretty much let's just jump into it. First of all, I will start like always right now. The Copa America semifinals have finalized right now. So, really quick, just want to say I was right. That was really cheesy, but I'll explain why I was right. So in my first video of the series, I pretty much said for the two finals that I saw in this tournament was Argentina and Chile because I saw that they were the better squads. Behold, we have Argentina versus Chile in the final match of the tournament for the trophy, and it is in MetLife Stadium. It will be this Sunday for anyone who's interested for that matchup. And this is going to be interesting. I will get into the semifinals, but this is very interesting because the first matchup, Chile was not a very strong team, but since that first matchup, Chile has been progressively getting better and better and better throughout the tournament. Argentina, since the start of this tournament, since the first match against Chile, they just put everything to the forward. They played well. They played good soccer. They didn't pull back on any of the stylistic playing they were using. Right now, their lineup took a hit. I will get into that in a bit. But Argentina seems like the better squad going in, but also Chile looks like a good squad. Depending on what lineups they use in the final, it could determine who will win the trophy. But let's get into the semifinal matches. First of all, it was the U.S. versus Argentina in Houston. It was the first spot in the semifinal. That match was played on Tuesday. Trying to make sure. Yes, it was played on Tuesday. My bad, guys. I just want to make sure because it was kind of a weird week for me. But it will be played on Tuesday. That game was played on Tuesday. And my gosh, what happened to the U.S.? The U.S. was not the squad we saw in the quarterfinal game against Ecuador and the last two group stage matchups against Paraguay and Costa Rica. That was not the team we've seen before. They completely broke down. Argentina really quick struck first in the third minute. It was a corner kick. They passed it out to Exiel, how I call him, Pocho Lavesi, was going on a corner kick. Well, the corner kick was taken. It was passed to him. He ran the ball towards towards the center of the box. He kicked it out. He passed it out to Messi, and Messi just chipped it to him and gave an amazing header. He gave the 1-0 lead right at the third minute of the match. So it wasn't like it took like a long time in the match. It wasn't like towards the middle of the first half. It was 3 minutes into the whole match. U.S. was really behind. I don't know how they let that happen. It was a very good attack on the Argentinian side. They scored. It was 1-0, and then 29 minutes later, it was a free kick in favor. Messi scored the amazing free kick. He took the free kick. If you haven't seen the free kick, you should go watch it. It was one of the best free kicks I've seen. It was right next to the corner of the upper corner of the goalkeeper. It was pretty much impossible to stop. And with that goal, it marked that Messi is officially the Argentinian leading goal scorer with 55 goals. The next player was Bautista with 54 goals. Messi tied him in this tournament and then has passed him in the semifinal of this tournament, making him obviously the best player in Argentinian history. The only thing, to be honest, he is missing to make him the best player of the world, that everybody will look back and say, look at everything Messi did, was a World Cup. If he wins on Sunday, he will just be missing the World Cup, which I predict he may go on and win at Russia. But depending on how everything goes in the next couple of years, it could change. I'm not sure what could happen, but that's just my prediction for the future. But we'll get into that in another video. But the U.S. He struck there. It was 2-0 at the half with the goal from Pocho Lavesi and Lionel Messi with Argentina going into the second half. Second half, yet again, U.S. tried to attack. They were getting forward, but then once they got to the final third, they would lose it. Argentina's defense was was completely better than the midfield and the forwards of the U.S. They were not doing anything right. Everything was going against them, so nothing was going right for the U.S. And then towards, I believe it was 5 or 10 minutes in, I wasn't even paying attention. I will be honest, I was not paying attention. The game, the U.S.'s style in that game was very poor. If anybody who watches soccer and really enjoys soccer like I do, I will admit, and I don't know if you let me know in the comments below if their style bored you, because I got bored by the style that the U.S. was playing today. The other day, it was not the best style. It was one of the worst styles I've seen from this U.S. squad. So it was just like, they were playing good. Like, what happened? But yeah. So they were playing horribly. Really early in the second half, yet again, Gonzalo Higuain scored with the pass. I believe it was a pass from, I can't remember who passed the ball, but he got the score, and it was 3-0 at the point. And then later on in the second half, it was getting towards it was in the latter part of the second half. The U.S. were not pushing forward. The Argentina was just keeping the ball in the midfield and pushing themselves forward. And then a very crooked pass to Pocho Lavezzi. He was trying to get the ball. He ended up falling backwards on the advertising boards that's around the pitch. He fell back and he got injured. I saw that initially. I knew that was really a hard fall, but I didn't know the extent of the fall. But it came out to be a fractured elbow to the point of breaking. At first, it was reported that it was a broken elbow, but now it came out it was a fractured elbow. It did require surgery, so all my best wishes out to Pocho Lavezzi. I hope he gets better. And so they had to make an immediate sub because he could not continue. He will be out for the final. He will not be available because of that injury. But not good for him. I really hope he gets better and is ready to get back when he goes back to China, where he's playing at right now. But Argentina right now have Di Maria, who returned for most likely will be one of the part of the starting 11 for this Sunday. And they also have Pastore back, who came back from injury, so he can anything that they need to do on the midfield, they can have him also available at the moment, so they can make subs. But the U.S. with the at the 86th minute, if I'm not mistaken, Gonzalo Higuain scored again, getting a brace on the night, making it 4-0, and that was the final score. 2 goals from Gonzalo Higuain, one from Pocho Lavezzi, and one from Lionel Messi. 4-0. The U.S. did not show anything. Everybody was raising questions for it, but he tried to. Head coach Jurgen Klinsmann tried to justify the loss, but honestly, in my opinion, that a loss like that against Argentina, the number 1 team in the world, you have a lot to prove. You can prove a lot saying that the U.S., the MLS, because a lot of the players that play for the U.S. are from the MLS. You just have maybe a handful of players that play in Europe, and a lot of them have been coming back from Europe to play in the MLS. So it's kind of, you had the opportunity to show that the MLS has strength, but you didn't show that the MLS had strength, and you just let that all fall out of your hands, pretty much sand in your hands. It just poured out till you just had the last little bit. And you try to justify that loss. You can't justify a loss against the number 1 ranked team. It could have been way better for the U.S., but they did not make the best out of it for them. So it was a 4-0 loss. They are heading to Glendale for tomorrow's match against, I will say who in a bit, but it is for the 3rd place of the tournament. And with that being said, yeah, pretty much just my thoughts on the whole game. The U.S. played very poorly. Argentina's been playing as strong as they've been playing the whole tournament. So Argentina is just out to prove that they are going to win. With this win, it is the 3rd major tournament, the final they have been in the last 3 years. In 2014, they were in the World Cup final. Last year, they were in the last Copa America final against Chile. And now they're in another Copa America final. So it's very interesting knowing that that Argentina actually they've progressively gotten better since the 2010 and all these past World Cups. 2011, I remember that was a very bad World Cup Copa America off of them, and the World Cup it wasn't bad, but they lost not in the most best fashion per se. But now 3 finals in a row. Maybe like I was talking with my mom earlier, and I told her maybe 3rd time's a try. This is the 3rd time in a final. Hopefully they can get it out. But let's head to the other side of the bracket, the other semifinal. It was Colombia versus Chile, and Chile started off very strong in that match. Within I believe it was 10 minutes, they scored the first goal, and then 7 minutes later, they scored the second goal. I will put the goal scorers on the screen right about now. But after that, Chile's style just died down. They progressively moved backwards instead of forward. They would get that occasional offensive attack, but after that they could not do much out of it. They would get to the final third, and then from there they would kind of slip up and not they wouldn't get the final touch to get the ball into the back of the net. But that was pretty much sums up the first half of that matchup. Really quick, I will address something I mistakenly right now that I'm editing the last video. Arturo Vidal was playing and available for the game against Mexico. He was not available for this matchup against Colombia, but I believe he will be available for the matchup against. Oh, yeah, I kind of just spoiled a bit, so I will get that. I will pretty much say he'll be available for the matchup against Argentina. Chile went on to win this match, and I will get into that in a bit. But it stayed like that pretty much the rest of the first half, 2-0. We went into halftime, and there was a 2-hour weather delay because there were thunderstorms in area and then heavy rain. If you guys haven't seen it, I would recommend going to just a bit. You can find it on Instagram or anywhere, and you'll see how hard the rain was pouring. It took 2 hours for it to clear, and then thank you. Pretty much, I'm gonna say thank you to the groundsman at Soldier Field in Chicago. That pretty much gave everyone in who was watching that game a chance to watch the second half, because if they couldn't get that fixed, it was going to be played the following day, which would have been Thursday, just the second half, because thankfully it started right at halftime. So props to them, thank you to them, because we got the second half of the game, we got it out, and it was still able to be played. There was a lot of puddles still on the field, but they did the best job they could do. It was pretty funny to watch them. You just see them just scooping up and just go trying to get all the water out of it. It's pretty good. Thank you to them. Huge props to them. If it wasn't for them, we would not have had a second half of the game. But the second half of the game, Chile was not the team we saw in the first half. Chile was just pretty weak. It was not they would get an occasional attack towards the midfield, but then they'll lose it. Colombia was moving forward more than Chile was. I'm very surprised that they did not score that whole time. Chile ended up resulted to playing a bit dirty. It wasn't ethical the way they were playing towards the end of the second half, and pretty much it was just surprising how Colombia did not score at all. I thought they would have scored at least just to get the momentum to the second half. Tried to score, but they didn't. So the final scoreline for that match was 2-0, giving Chile into the final. And Brian was correct. I'm gonna just throw it out there because I'm thoroughly surprised I actually got that right. Because in my prediction video, I had Colombia, Chile, Argentina, and Brazil. Brazil obviously got eliminated in the group stage. Argentina got a 4-0 victory versus the U.S. Chile got a 2-0 victory versus Colombia. And Colombia, I already knew. I knew they were going to get deep into the tournament, but I didn't see them winning it or making it to the final. So that's why I had them in the semifinal. And they are now in the third place game, which I predicted also. And they will be facing the U.S. tomorrow. And my predictions on that much, it's pretty much... These two matches have been rematches, but I don't see from the first matches of each group, because the U.S., for those who don't know, faced Colombia in the opening match of the tournament. It was a 2-0 victory for Colombia, and then Argentina faced Chile in a 2-1 victory up in the same stadium, Santa Clara, and I went to that matchup. It was amazing. A 2-1 victory for Argentina, and Chile is now in the final, surprisingly, and then even though losing, and then the U.S. is in the third place match, even though they lost. But pretty much my predictions for the third place match, I still have it seen as my prediction video. I have Chile coming out as the third place team because obviously they have better football than the U.S. has. The U.S. play how they played in the Argentina game. I do not know what's going to happen. I could actually possibly see them getting routed out in a big loss, and this can hurt them moving forward, and I'll talk about that in a bit, but I'll just finish up with the predictions on this. But yeah, Colombia, I see Colombia coming out top, but then the final, I still see Argentina coming on top. Argentina has the better squad going into it, but Chile, I feel like they're going to give more of a battle than what they did in the second half of the semifinal match, and pretty much show what they did in the first half of that match. So I see them going on forward and actually doing a better job and giving Argentina a hard time, but I still see Argentina working. Really quick, the tournament, the match will be completely different for the final. It is a 90-minute match. If it's tied after that, after 90 minutes, it will go to a 30-minute time limit. If it's still tied after a 30-minute time limit, it will go to a penalty shootout, and then until there is a winner in the penalty shootout. Penalty shootouts have extended very long. I think the longest was a 15 sheet penalty shootout. So that's 5 shots each for five shots per sheet for each team. So I can't remember, but I'll figure that out for the next video and I'll clarify that. But right now, if the U.S. really quick, I just want to talk about what can be moving forward for these teams as a result of this Copa America. Mexico was a 7-0 loss. I'll just talk about the quarterfinal teams, semifinal teams, and the finalists and the third place teams. So Mexico, I don't see them moving. I kind of still see them being a factor in the CONCACAF. But after that hit, a lot of the smaller teams see, oh, we can actually start now fighting back. So this loss was a big hit to Mexico. They're actually keeping their head coach. They're not firing after that because traditionally, when Mexico has a very bad loss, they end up firing that head coach. So surprisingly, they didn't fire him this time. He's keeping his job, and he will be going down to the Olympics. I will cover that tournament also for the women and men's side. I'll cover both. So surprisingly, they kept them, but we'll see what moves over from Mexico. But they have to change a lot of things in their lineups also. Ecuador, if they keep on doing what they do and play just a bit better, they can actually be a force to be reckoned with in the CONMEBOL and actually qualify to a World Cup. I think they qualified last World Cup, but they didn't do too much. Also, Venezuela, they need to start. If they don't play as bad as they played against Argentina and they play like they were playing in the group stages, they will actually also be moving up in the standings to qualify for the World Cup. So if they keep on playing better, I'll see them. We'll most likely see them in the World Cup pretty soon. I'm trying to make sure who do I not forget because there was one more squad I'm trying to make sure that I don't forget because we have. Because for Colombia, that was a huge hit to them, the loss. So they need to boost themselves with that. They need to come back together. They need to win this matchup, and if they hopefully get the win tomorrow, that will give them the boost. But really quick, what I want to talk about, mostly the U.S. is what I want to talk about with this. The U.S. if they lose one more time, this is a hit for them because honestly, the U.S. have not had the best soccer I've seen in the last maybe 5 years. The last time I've seen them actually at their full peak was the 09 Confederation Cup, the 2010 World Cup, and then the following two tournaments after that. And once 2012 and Jurgen Klinsmann came in, they were doing good at the beginning, but now that stride they had has died down. That stride is not there anymore. They do play well. They do actually compete, but it's not the level that I kind of expect from the U.S. It's just like the U.S. have made it to deep into tournaments before, but now it's just like we'll make it to the first round of the knockout stages and let's just get eliminated. Yes, the U.S. made it to the semifinal of this tournament, but it wasn't very convincing fashion, and it was kind of just like, come on now, let's just play better. We can play better, but the U.S. need to win this match. I don't see them winning though. But they need to win this match to get confidence. But I don't see them winning though. Yeah, I kind of just like rhetorical questions, just being rhetorical with that. But the U.S. need huge changes. I feel like they need to change a new head coach because when they were under Bob Bradley, it was a completely different style and it was better. But now under Jurgen Klinsmann, he's putting a style that's not effective. They win friendlies. I don't deny that. But there's the key word: friendlies. International friendlies are completely different from actually playing a actual major tournament like Copa Oro, Copa America, Confederation Cup, and the World Cup. Those tournaments are what people look at, soccer fans look at, analysts look at. As myself, I look at the major tournaments. I do understand they do play friendlies, but there's something that fans need to understand. Friendlies can mean anything. You can get, there was a friendly, I remember a couple years ago, between Brazil and Argentina. They went to a 4-3 win for Argentina, I believe. That was 7 goals. They weren't trying that match. There's a reason that these matches are called friendlies. They're warm-ups and they're friendlies, but that's just to get you an idea of what you can expect. An idea. There's the key word again. An idea to know what you're gonna expect in the tournament. Like the Copa Oro, obviously the CONCACAF teams play each other a lot, so obviously they're all gonna know what to expect from each other. But then when it comes to the CONMEBOL teams, a lot of them also play against each other. But there's always sometimes different outcomes. Like Chile won the last Copa America. Uruguay won the one before that. And then we don't know who can win this one. Maybe Chile can do a back-to-back victory. Or Argentina get their first major tournament victory for the first time since 1993. So it's very interesting to see what can happen. But going back to what I'm talking about, the U.S. need to change a lot, and I believe they have to start with the head coach. They need to change that, and then they have to change personnel and the staff, and then they have to see what players because not only in the head coaching and the staff, they need to look at what players they call up and what players they don't call up. Because there's good players that they didn't call up. Like there was before he retired, Landon Donovan was one of those key players that Jurgen Klinsmann refused to call up. It's not that he refused; he just didn't feel like Landon Donovan was good enough to be in his system. So the only reason the last time Donovan was called up because he was retiring. So I pretty much Klinsmann thought Klinsmann's process was, oh, he's retiring. Let's just give him one last match, and then after that we'll keep him. We'll end up because he only played 45 minutes of his last U.S. match. So Klinsmann and Donovan did not get along. So that's just one of those key things that some players don't get along with Klinsmann, and I understand because his style is not the best style. I feel like it's one of the poorest styles there is in the world when it comes to the major team, like bigger teams like Brazil, Argentina, Germany, Italy, Spain, France, England. And also, not even those European teams. Mexico, you can look at. You can look at Ghana. You can look at South Africa. Can have a better style than them. Nigeria and the underage World Cups play way better. And then there's a lot better teams and like weaker teams that have better stylistics than the U.S. So that's just really quick I want to talk about for the U.S. moving forward. But now let's get into the Euros. Something I haven't covered because now they're entering the round of 16, and this is going to get interesting. So let's get into the Euros. So I'm going to look this way because I have my other laptop. I'm going to just move it. There, you can kind of see some of it. Because I have the Euros right here. And round of 16, there's a top bracket and then the second part of the bracket. Last episode, I said the lower part of the bracket was a stronger bracket. And it is because it's a more stacked bracket than I initially thought. But let's cover the top part of the bracket because there will be matchups starting tomorrow, and the matchups that will be tomorrow will be Switzerland, Poland will face each other in the first round of 16 match. Croatia, Portugal will face each other, and then Wales, Northern Ireland will face each other. 3 matchups for the Euros tomorrow, and if you guys, most likely by the time this video is out, it would be over, but I would recommend checking those out because it's very interesting. Switzerland, they came off finishing second in their group. They played pretty, as what I heard and what I was reading and checking up on, they played very well. Excuse me, guys. They played very well, and they seem like a better squad than they have seen in the last few tournaments. And then Poland, a lot of them ride on Robert Lewandowski. He has not showed up this tournament, just to say that. He has not showed up too much, but he can actually be a factor. He's always a dangerous player, and Switzerland need to watch out and need to cover him very well if they want to move on to the quarterfinals of this tournament. So if just pretty much depending on how Robert Lewandowski plays, it could determine the winner. Because if Robert Lewandowski, for those who don't know, he is a Bayern Munich forward. He's a stellar forward. Real Madrid's actually been trying to sign him. I believe I've covered it. I'm not sure if I have. Can't remember off the top of my head, but he apparently has signed a private contract with Real Madrid, but I still see him right now. He's still a Bayern Munich player, but until the Euros are up, most likely we'll get more news on that. But like I said, depending on how he plays can determine who gets the victory. Because if Robert Lewandowski scores a goal and plays very well or excellently well, Poland's going to come out on top. But if Switzerland can crack down the Polish attack and then cover and contain Robert Lewandowski, they can come out and get the victory. That's how I see it for that match. And then Croatia-Portugal is the next matchup for tomorrow. And it will be very interesting because Portugal this tournament has not won a match. They've tied all 3 matchups. They were leading against Iceland. It goes back to the first video I made on this series and it was talking about how Cristiano Ronaldo was degrading Iceland, and now I'll get into them in a bit. But for that, he pretty much they've gone a road that they did not win a match. They tied all 3 matches. They pretty much slipped their way into this round of 16. They barely made it in, to my surprise. and they're facing a Croatia team that is on fire right now. Who's gonna? I hopefully believe that I'm right. That Luka Modric will be back to the starting 11 for that team, and also they will have Rakitic in the midfield, and then they have a whole bunch of other players that people don't know about, but are great stellar players, like in the 2-1 loss for Spain that you will see me talk about later in the video that will come out yesterday, because this will be recorded this is recorded the same day, but it will come out the next day. They won 2-1, and it wasn't by a goal from Rakitic or another big name player. It was this player, I can't remember his name, but he scored the winning goal very late in the match, 86th minute of the match. So it was very surprising that like late in that matchup they were still able to pull out a victory. So Croatia are coming red hot right now with the victory. I can actually see if Portugal does not play well, I see Croatia coming out on top in this matchup. But if Cristiano Ronaldo, Nani, and the rest of the Portuguese team can get themselves together and try to get that victory, they can go on to the next round. But the key word for me in this matchup, they have to work as a unit. They don't have to rely too much on Cristiano Ronaldo or Nani to work forward. They all have to work together and move forward as a team to get the victory. And the next matchup for tomorrow, that would be one of the final matchups. 3 matchups will be played tomorrow, and that will be pretty much it for till the following day. Will be Wales versus Ireland. Northern Ireland, my mistake. So let me get this working here. But pretty much it's very interesting because Northern Ireland, I've never seen too much football from them, but Wales with Aaron Ramsey and Gareth Bale, they've been playing very well. So I obviously see Wales going out on top because they seem like the better squad that there is right now, because of their style that they're playing with Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey. They seem a bit better. But the next matchup will be I would believe it would be the next on Sunday. It will be Hungary versus Belgium, and that's a very interesting matchup because Belgium they've been playing well, but not at the level most people expect them to play, because they are expected to be they're one of the youngest squads there is in the tournament, and they were one of the better squads because in the World Cup they play exceptionally well. But after that, Eden Hazard did not have a good showing. Kevin De Bruyne actually became an actual better stellar attacking midfielder, and then a lot of other players. Sorry guys, have been they've been moving around the place, not playing wise. I mean playing wise, not moving to a different club, but I mean playing wise. Like some players would have good times, and then other players would not have good times. But it's Hungary's been playing well also, but I see Belgium going on to the next round. And then the next matchup for the round of 16 will be Germany, Slovakia. Obviously, I'm going to have the world champions on top moving forward because the team they're bringing has been playing very well. They've had a tie against Poland, and they very nearly came out with a 1-0 victory their last matchup. But the last matchup, the only reason they got a 1-0 victory because I believe it was Northern Ireland they were playing against. I can't remember who they were playing against, but played a very their goalkeeper was putting everything on the line. He stopped every ball that was coming towards the goal. He was able to get everything out. So that's the only reason that Germany did not win by a huge shutout. It was just a 1-0 victory, but it was still a victory nonetheless. But Slovakia, I haven't heard too much of them playing style. I believe they're one of the third best, or they can't remember. It was either second place or one of the best third place teams that qualified into the next round. But I see Germany going on top. And pretty much the match of the tournament, I mentioned it my last video. This is the match of the round. For the round of 16, this is the match of the round. For what I explained last time, this could be redemption. It is Italy versus Spain. This is huge redemption for Italy. They get to face the team that beat them for the Euro. For those who don't know, the last Euro that was played back in 2012, it came down to Italy versus Spain. Spain won the final to repeat as champion, continue to be unbeaten in Euro play, and left Italy in despair with the loss. So Italy actually have a chance because Spain are coming into the round of 16 injured because they lost. Their unbeaten streak is over. They lost to Croatia, who will be facing Portugal, like I said earlier. So, seeing that this is a huge matchup and there's so many implications, somebody can go home early. Spain can actually knock out and continue on, but even if they continue on, they are most likely going to have to deal with Germany. Because Germany seems like the better squad, out of the Slovakia-Germany game. I see them, like I said, I see them coming out top. But even if Italy comes out, I see Italy giving a better fight. And I want to hope Italy comes out. But knowing Spain has a bad match, and then they rebound right back and go on to win. But that's going to be the match to watch, in my opinion. So I would say this matchup won't be until later in the week. So I do recommend keep an eye out for that match, because just for the anticipation there is around that match, I would say just keep a huge eye on that one. And then the final match of the round of 16 will be France versus Republic of Ireland. And obviously I'm going to see the hosts through because the hosts have a better team. So let me check something really quick. I see the hosts going through because they're a better squad, and they're not weak per se, but they're very strong with the younger squad because of their forwards. A lot of them are playing in big European clubs like there's this I can't remember his Rashford. No, that's for England. There's a player that plays in Manchester United. He's been playing well. Also, there's Antonio Griezmann, who's playing well. Paul Pogba, who plays in Juventus, also plays well. So there's a lot more players there for France. Even their goalkeeper, who plays in Tottenham, he's exceptionally great keeper. So I see France coming out on top. And then that was not the final match, my mistake. The final match of the round of 16 will be England and the team I did not see going through, and Cristiano Ronaldo bagged on them. He degraded them. Iceland is in the round of 16 facing England for a possible spot in the quarterfinal. That is huge for Iceland, because for those who didn't know, Iceland, this is their first appearance in a major European tournament. They have never been in a Euro before. They've never qualified to a World Cup. They've always been qualified, but they always have not come up. They've always come up short. They have not qualified. They've not made it. They made it to this Euro. They tied against Portugal. I can't remember what happened in their second game, if they tied or not, but they won their last matchup to get them into this match. And I really recommend, if you guys haven't seen the video, go online and enter Iceland commentary for Euro 2016, and most likely one to be the top results. Then the commentary from the Iceland commentator, it was amazing when they scored the winning goal in their final matchup to move on to the round of 16. You kind of laugh at it, but like me, I look at it as a soccer fan. I laugh at it, but then it brings me joy because this is the first time they made it to a round of 16. This is the first time they're in the Euros. Right now, everything they're doing is the first time. They had their first tie. Can't remember the second match, but their last match, they had their first win of the tournament. Put them through to the round of 16 for the first time. They're entering the round of 16, and it's amazing for them. I have huge hopes for them, but they're facing a young and experienced English squad that can actually do damage. So they have to do what they did against Portugal and hold this English offense off, because if they don't, I'm sorry, but I feel like their tournament might end there. But if they can do what they did against Portugal and they did in their last match, they can move forward and they can continue winning. One of the notable teams that I saw did not make the round of 16s, was Russia. And pretty much I'm not surprised, because Russia is not the best squad per se. I remember back in the Euros in Ukraine, 2012 Euros, they played a bit better than what I expected. But I expected a little bit more, but they didn't make it, surprisingly. So right now, a lot of teams that are in the the round of 16 are bigger teams. So pretty much I'll just give my match winners. So for Poland, Switzerland, like I said, if Switzerland can contain Robert Lewandowski and not let him do much, Switzerland's coming on top. But if I will believe that Robert Lewandowski or the Polish squad will try to come together and try to get him loose once, they could come out on top. But for Croatia, Portugal need to work as a squad and not work individually, because if they work individually, I see Croatia moving on. Wales, obviously, I see them as against Northern Ireland. I see Wales moving on because Northern Ireland is a decently good squad, but Wales is the better squad with Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey. Hungary, Belgium, obviously, Eden Hazard has gotten his stride back. De Vrij is playing very well. Fellaini is playing good in the defense. And, I see them moving forward in the next round. Germany, Slovakia, obviously, Germany's the world champion. even without being the world champion, they're still a better team, and I see them moving on to the next round. And then Italy, Spain. That's the hard one. I cannot predict. I am going to let that match play out. I'm not going to predict that matchup. I hope to see Italy go through because I want them to get redemption against Spain because what happened in the last Euro, because they deserve it. But you never know. That one's up to. I'm going to leave that one up in the air. And then France, Republic of Ireland. The only reason I'm not going to put Republic of Ireland because Robbie Keane, LA Galaxy forward, is on that squad, and I honestly do not like Robbie Keane. That's just because his style is too. It's very Ronaldo-esque, and he thinks he's very good, but he is very old now. I believe he's entering his 40s. If not, he's older than that. So obviously France as the host nation and having a better squad are going to move on to the quarterfinals. And then England, I don't know, but I want to say England will go through, but you never know. Iceland can always upset the team and go on to the quarterfinals, but you never know. So that's pretty much I wanted to cover. The Euros didn't have too much incident anymore. Everything now is gone to round knockout stage format. It's not like the Copa America where there is a penalty shootout instead of the 30 minutes. There is a 30-minute additional extra time, and then if they're still tied after that, it will go to penalty shootout. But most of the matches are determined in the extra 30 minutes. But we'll see how this tournament goes, and I'll be covering this one a little more because now the Copa America has finalized, and I have more time to cover this one and looking more to the games and watch the games more because I watched the games the other day, and there were very good matchups. So other than that, that's pretty much what I want to talk about the Euros, and let's get into the transfer news really quick. So really quick on the transfer news right now, I am checking that officially that Antonio Griezmann will renew his contract at Atletico Madrid until 2021. So that is good for the forward because he's a good forward at Atletico Madrid, and I like what he does there. If you haven't seen any how he plays, you should go check it out. And he's a really good player. Also trying to check because there hasn't been too notable news. There is one that came out today that the president of the CONMEBOL has officially came out and challenged the UEFA to let the winner of this Sunday's Copa America face the winner of the Euro, who's entering the Euros are entering the round of 16, as I stated earlier, and the UEFA has not responded. But that would be an actually interesting concept. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I actually would like to see that. Maybe like that's something I've actually really wanted to see between like I know there's the Confederation Cups, which is pretty much the tournament of champions of the regional of the continental champions. So like there's the winner of the Copa Oro, which is essentially the Gold Cup, the Copa America, the Euros, the African Nation Cup winners, the Asian Cup Asia, my bad. The Asia Cup winners, and then the host nation is also participant in the Confederation Cup. But it'll be kind of interesting more seeing like the bigger heavyweight nations like the winner of the Euro and maybe the Gold Cup can alternate because we normally see maybe the Gold Cup winner and the Copa America winner play each other. But it'll be interesting to see them play actually for I don't know what the concept they're looking for with that, but if they do it for a trophy, it would be very interesting, and I actually would enjoy that, and I would cover that matchup very highly because that's something very interesting. Because you'll see, say like if we did it before, it would have been if they've done it before. I mean, it would have been possibly Chile versus Spain or Uruguay versus Spain because Spain's won the last 2 Euros, and the last 2 Copa Americas have been won by Uruguay and Chile. So it would have been interesting to see them play each other, not in a World Cup setting, but in an actual different setting where they face each other in as champions, as the Copa America and the Euros champions. So it's very interesting that concept. Let me know if you guys would think about that concept. It's very interesting, and also it looked like I was looking at something earlier that let me double check here. Carlos Ancelotti will not be signing any right backs because he can rely on Philip Lahm, and even if Philip Lahm gets injured, he has Rafinha, and I actually do agree with that because he actually Bayern Munich for those who don't know Carlos Ancelotti is the new head coach for Bayern Munich because Pep Guardiola had it out to Manchester City. So him coming in is actually a good experience because Carlos Ancelotti has won trophies with Real Madrid, with Chelsea, with AC Milan, and him coming to Bayern Munich and actually relying on players that he already has, it's a very good concept. And I've seen that just a couple times with head coaches. Normally, when new head coaches come in, they try to sign all new players and try to mix up the lineup. But Carlos Ancelotti has said that it doesn't seem like he's gonna change up the lineup, which I actually like because the lineup there is already it's a really good lineup. And yeah, let me check. I'm trying to check here because there's one other thing more notable that I wanted to check here, and briefly discuss about because right now there's not much like huge transfer news per se because of all the tournaments going on. So a lot of the tournaments are conflicting with that. And oh, really quick, something I covered yesterday that Jamie Vardy rejected not yesterday, I mean the last video, rejected the what is it? Sorry. The contract offer from Arsenal. He's staying at Leicester City. Yesterday or 2 days ago, he officially said that, and now he has officially signed a 4-year contract, a new 4-year contract with Leicester City. I knew he was gonna stay at the club for long. I expected maybe 2 to 3 years extension, but 4 years he is staying. Most likely there will be a clause to actually buy his contract out before the contract is up. So I gave him a couple years. I gave him 3 years. He most likely there will be, if he continues playing as well as he's been playing now, there will be offers for him later on because of his playing style is very good. For those who haven't seen Leicester City's past season, they played an amazing season. I'm very it's like one of those once in a lifetime things you get to see. So I was very surprised. I was very happy to see that happen for Leicester City because they were for those who didn't know, it was a betting wise it was 5,000 to 1 chance that Leicester City would have won the title, but they completely overcame those odds, overcame all the best teams in the Premier League, and came out on top as the champions. Also, something I wanted to cover. Also, Aubameyang, Manchester City wanted to try to contract Aubameyang, a young upstart. Not an upstart. He's been at Borussia Dortmund for a couple of years now. He's been starting the last 2 seasons. He's been playing very well, and Manchester City wanted to sign him, but Manchester City has said they will not sign him due to the fact that he wants a 12 million euro annually wage, and his agent has said also it'll be to 10 million euros for the transfer fee. So on those conditions, Manchester City has denied. Also, they wanted a contract through 2021, and Manchester City did not agree to those conditions, so they have denied that contract. So Aubameyang is staying for at Borussia Dortmund for now, but a lot of clubs will be coming after him because he's such a good player. Also, looks like Chelsea is looking to sign Lucalo because he is a good he's very exceptionally good. I believe he plays either defense or midfield, but for the positions he plays very well. And also they will that's if they fail to sign Alvaro Morata, because Chelsea and Arsenal are in looks to signing Alvaro Morata, which for those who haven't seen the last video, Real Madrid bought Alvaro Morata back from Juventus for 30 million euros, but they can sell him for 65 million euros, so pretty much double. They would get double the income they spent on getting him back, so they can get double on sending him out again. But most likely they will not, because unless those teams actually give up the offer, make the come up with it before the summer transfer session ends, they will not be able to sign him. So also Chelsea will look like they're gonna sell Diego Costa to Atletico de Madrid. I would be actually glad to see Diego Costa coming back to Atletico de Madrid. That's where he became actually a huge star, and he became a good playmaker through playing in Atletico de Madrid and their style. For those who don't know, the head coach is Diego Simeone, and he's an exceptionally excellent coach. I don't even know why he said exceptionally well. He's an excellent coach. I'm very surprised that he hasn't won the Champions League yet, because this past season and 2 seasons ago, he was in the final. He has been in the final for 2 of the last 3 seasons, but has failed to win it because he's faced Real Madrid, and Real Madrid has overpowered them. But it looks like Diego Costa is heading back there because he spent a season there. Like I said, he made himself of a name there instead of through Chelsea, where he is playing at right now. So That's pretty interesting. And let me check one more thing really quick. Also, if you didn't catch it earlier in the video, Pocho Lavesi will be out for the rest of the Copa America, and I do not know how much longer he will be out playing wise because he suffered a fractured elbow due to the fall that he received. Due to the fall that happened during the match against U.S. and Argentina. He fractured his elbow. It required surgery immediately. He will not be playing the rest of the Copa America, but he also may be possibly out from playing with this Chinese club out in China. So that's another little note, and I'm trying to make sure. There was also news from Cristiano Ronaldo. Also, not good news, bad news again. A reporter was trying to ask him some questions. I'm not sure if the reporter was pesky or was not asking the right questions or being rude to Cristiano Ronaldo. But Cristiano Ronaldo took the mic out of his hand and threw it into the lake that they're walking past by. I don't know why he does these things, just to get attention, because everybody's on attention on Messi, who's been playing very well in the Copa America, is now the his nation's leading goal scorer. So could be looking for attention because he is one of the he is the player that has scored in 4 consecutive Euros now. It's never been done before, but stuff like that is just kind of like, okay, why do you do that? Because you actually are a star player and everybody has eyes on you. So doing stuff like that is just I'm going to say stupid because he's a grown adult. He's a world-class player that everybody has their eyes on. So it's kind of dumb. But let me know what you think of him doing that, because I think that was very dumb of him to do that, especially knowing that news outlets will be covering it. Especially that was the reporters, Mike. He just pretty much, I'm just like, I'm just like, okay, question, gets it out, woo, and rip audio. I'll say that now, rip audio. But yeah, let me make sure. Also, Radamel Falcao has underwent his medical. He is returning back to I believe it's AS Monaco. He was playing better there than when he was playing at Chelsea and Manchester United. I don't know why he left Monaco, but he is heading back there, and he will be most likely in the starting 11 once he starts back up in the season over there. Also, like I said last video, Paris Saint-Germain will be unveiling the new head coach next week, and oh yes, here it is. Radamel Falcao has passed his medical, so he started and he passed them. So I believe a lot of Monaco fans are happy to have him back. They're sad when he left, but good on him to be back on the club that he's actually from Atletico Madrid and then went to Monaco, but it seems like he's played a little bit better than while he was at Monaco than one Atletico Madrid. And I believe also AC Milan has signed a new player, and he will be at the club until 2021. The contract has been signed, and he's officially AC Milan player. I will put his name on screen pretty soon because I could not pronounce it, and I will butcher it. And also, the third round of qualification for the World Cup on the African zone has been announced. So all 5 groups have been announced, and then from there will be, I believe, they go into the next round qualifying, and from there move on to the teams who qualify to the World Cup. But I will put the picture on screen right about now for the qualifications for those for people who are interested. And I believe that is pretty much it for today. Not too much when it comes to transfer news for today. If I forgot any transfer news, let me know again in the comment section down below, and I will talk about it next video. But I think that will be it for this video, guys. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for watching. If I forgot anything, if you think, especially on the Euros, because the Euros I haven't covered too much. Let me know if you think anything differently on what I said on what teams are going through, or if you have a different opinion maybe why a team went through, and my opinion was completely different from what you had. Let me know in the comment section down below, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I love you. I would love all you guys join the I won't say the name, so I'll cover this. I'll say this now. The channel's going under changes right now, and I will be changing the channel name and the channel banner. So if you want to join me for that, hit that subscribe button, and also hit that like button down below. I really appreciate that, guys. And yeah, pretty much I think that will be it for today. Most of the things I will be doing with outros and other things will be coming up soon. I just want to make sure I get these things right and they look fine, guys. But other than that, thank you for your all support, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace out, guys.